The world is changing faster than most people realize right now. This is not a prediction. This is reality. This is happening quietly, but it will affect everyone. While you scroll your phone, power is shifting. While markets open and close, money is moving. And while headlines distract you, new systems are being built. This is not about war with tanks or bombs. This is about war with money, influence, and strategy. Every currency move, every trade, every central bank decision matters. China is not waiting. Russia is not isolated the way it used to be. BRICS is no longer just a discussion group. And the United States is no longer the only rule maker. The global economic order you grew up with is under stress, and the question is simple. Is the world moving away from the dollar system? And if yes, what does that mean for your life, your savings, your future? Before we dive deeper, take 1 second. If you want clear finance stories without fluff, subscribe now. Hit the like button so this reaches more people who need this knowledge. This is Money Finance Insights, where we decode power, money, and global change. Now let's continue. For decades, the United States sat at the center of the global economy. The dollar became the world's main currency. Oil was priced in dollars. Trade was settled in dollars. Debt was issued in dollars. If you wanted access to global markets, you needed dollars. This gave America a silent superpower. It could print money and export inflation. It could sanction countries by cutting them out of global banking. It could influence governments without firing a shot. The system worked for a very long time, but power systems never stay forever. They evolve or they break. Cracks are now visible. China watched this system carefully for decades. Russia experienced its weakness firsthand through sanctions. Emerging nations felt trapped by dollar dependence. Slowly, quietly, alternatives started forming. China became the world's factory, and then it became the world's biggest trader. Then it became the world's largest holder of foreign reserves. Now it wants to become a rule setter. China does not want chaos. China wants leverage. It wants trade without political pressure. It wants systems it can influence. China invests in infrastructure across continents, ports, railways, highways, and energy projects. These are not just investments, but they are tools of influence. Each project ties a country closer to China economically. This creates dependency slowly, silently. This is long-term strategy. Russia learned a different lesson. Sanctions showed how vulnerable dollar reliance can be. Assets were frozen overnight. Payments were blocked instantly. Russia realized that economic sovereignty matters more than ever. This changed its strategy forever. It shifted trade to local currencies. It built alternative payment systems. It strengthened energy partnerships with friendly nations. It stored gold and alternative reserves as insurance. Then there is BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Originally, it was a discussion idea. Today, it is expanding rapidly. New countries are lining up to join. These nations share one frustration. They want trade without external control. They want development without conditional pressure. BRICS is not anti-America. It is pro-independence. They are not trying to destroy the system. They are trying to build parallel systems. Trade settlements in local currencies are increasing. Bilateral deals are bypassing the dollar. Central banks are buying more gold. Digital payment systems are being developed. Energy deals are being priced differently. These are not headlines. These are infrastructure moves. They are subtle, quiet, and powerful. And by the time most notice, it is too late to change. The US dollar is still dominant today. That reality has not changed yet. But dominance and permanence are different things. The dollar relies on trust. Trust in stability. Trust in governance. Trust in long-term value. America still has massive strengths. Its markets are deep and liquid. Its institutions remain powerful. Its innovation engine is unmatched. But debt levels are rising. Political divisions are visible. Sanctions are being used more often. And trust is slowly being tested. China sees this moment as strategic. It is not rushing. It is patient. It invests in ports, roads, and infrastructure. It lends money through long-term agreements. It builds dependency without force. That is soft power economics. Russia complements this through energy leverage. Energy is real power. Countries need oil and gas to function. Energy trade creates long-term relationships. Those relationships reduce isolation. Russia also strengthens military partnerships quietly. Not for war, but for deterrence. This creates influence without aggression. India plays a different role. It balances East and West. It benefits from both systems. India wants growth, not confrontation. That makes it a key swing player. Brazil and South Africa add regional stability. They also provide resources and markets. This creates a global network that can challenge single dominance. So what does this mean for the global order? It means the future is likely multipolar. Not one king, but several power centers. Not one currency, but multiple strong currencies. Competition will rise. Influence will be shared. Policy decisions will matter in more countries. And global trade will look very different in 10 years. This transition will not be smooth. Transitions never are. Markets hate uncertainty. Volatility increases during shifts. Opportunities also increase. For the average American viewer, this matters deeply. Inflation is not just local policy. It is global currency confidence. Interest rates reflect global demand for dollars. Your savings are tied to trust in systems. If the dollar weakens long term, imports get expensive. If alternatives grow, competition increases. Competition forces discipline. That could be healthy or painful. This is not about collapse tomorrow. This is about slow transformation. Empires rarely fall overnight. They fade gradually. The United States still has time. Time to reform. Time to stabilize debt. Time to rebuild trust. Time to innovate again. China, Russia, and BRICS are betting on patience. They are not chasing headlines. They are building foundations. This is why you rarely hear loud announcements. True power moves quietly. By the time it is obvious, it is already late. Every deal signed in Asia, Africa, or Latin America affects dollars indirectly. Every new currency agreement shifts influence. Every new digital payment system challenges old dominance. This is subtle, invisible change, and it accumulates over time. The world is being reorganized without bombs, without invasion, without chaos. This is strategic, calculated, and quiet. At Money Finance Insights, we focus on these silent shifts. Not fear, not hype, just clear understanding. What you need to understand is this. Global economic power is becoming distributed. The future will not be dominated by a single country. Instead, influence will come from networks. Networks of trade, networks of finance, networks of energy and resources. This has real-life consequences. Savings, investments, and costs are all impacted. Your retirement, your career, your financial decisions depend on it. Even what you pay for food, energy, and goods may reflect this shift. The shift is gradual, but its effects compound. History has shown that financial systems can change quickly. Trust, once lost, is very hard to regain. America's position is strong, but not unassailable. China's strategy is long-term. Russia's strategy is defensive and influential. BRICS is strategic and growing. Together, they create a world that is no longer unipolar, a world where the dollar is not the only standard, a world where emerging nations can choose alternatives, a world where alliances are shifting quietly. This is why this topic matters. It affects you even if you do not follow headlines. It affects your pocket, your spending power, your lifestyle. Understanding it early gives you an advantage. Ignoring it could be costly. Comment below if you see the world changing. Share your view on China, Russia, BRICS, and the US. Share this video with someone who follows global finance. These conversations matter more than ever. The world you live in tomorrow is being shaped today, not by votes alone, but by money flows, by trade routes, by trust in systems. Stay curious, stay informed, and never assume the system is permanent, because history proves one thing: change always comes. Thank you for watching Money Finance Insights. Stay connected, stay informed, and prepare for the world as it changes.